Hey guys,
Live.
welcome to another episode of our Christmas
Nice.
marathon.
Yep. Super cool. I love Christmas marathons.
We got through a lot of movies. I should say, I got through a lot of movies this week.
I think I was busy doing spreadsheets.
So remember that, y'all, when next October comes around and I become busy.
Stop being the laser.
You have to expect movie quotes from us. Right? I mean, it's just kind of the way it is. We're waiting for a few more to jump on here. Jump on, say hey.
Lord.
But I didn't join in time. You joined. You're good. You're good. We're just starting. We just did our intro. So, all right. It was another awesome week of Christmas movies. So, the very first one that we'll talk about is called A Merry Single Christmas. So, this one was about a group of singles who went to a singles retreat at this cabin resort place.
So hard to watch.
It wasn't that bad. I mean, we watched worse this week.
No, I'm confusing it with one of last week's movies. Never mind.
This one wasn't one of the best, but it wasn't one of the worst either. So anyway, this group of singles goes to this retreat hosted by this other single lady.
And that was the whole theme.
Yeah.
You had to be single.
You had to be single, no relationship goals.
That was the whole purpose of this get together.
Because they wanted it to be just meeting new people and having Christmas. So, Christmas can be hard for those who maybe don't have family or don't have a good relationship with their family. Maybe they've just broken up with somebody, so it's a difficult time. So the whole point of this resort was to cater to people who were going to otherwise have a difficult time for Christmas because they broke up with somebody or they weren't in good relations with their family or they didn't really have any place to go. So they needed somewhere that they could spend Christmas and enjoy themselves. So that was the whole point of this. Well, you find out as the story goes on that two of the singles that were there actually used to be a couple and had just broken off their engagement. So, of course, the predictable part of it is they realize that they're still in love with each other and they end up back together. Hey, thanks for joining us. And then another one of the couples that had gone to this singles retreat for several years decided that they were meant to be.
People are relational. Humans are relational people.
That's the way it is. So they all ended up pairing up in the end. There was only one odd man out single guy because they were unevenly paired at this retreat.
Were they okay with that in the end? Were they?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just
a mutual thing.
Was, yeah.
Okay.
So it was an original idea. It was an interesting story. Was it predictable? Yeah, of course. Was it cute? Yeah.
I'd say the cheese level is not as bad as some of the other.
Yeah, it wasn't over the top cheesy. The acting was decent. It wasn't top notch, but it wasn't terrible. It was decent flow to the acting. I would give it a 6. 6.5.
5.
Okay.
Solid 5.
Solid. Okay. The next one is called that one was from 2022, by the way. Of Merry Single. You have something to say?
Last year.
Yes, last year's. Deck the Halls is the next movie from 2006. This one is a Matthew Broderick, Danny DeVito, and Kristen Chenoweth movie.
I don't know that last person, but those first two are awesome.
The blonde chick with the squeaky voice.
Oh, that's right. I don't know her from anything else.
I do. She's in quite a few movies that I've watched. Girly movies, of course. Okay. So that's why you wouldn't see. Man,
you got Ferris and the Penguin in here.
Yeah. So,
what more could you ask for?
This one was actually pretty funny. I actually recommended it to my dad because he likes funny, kind of Christmas movies to watch with my mom that aren't cheesy.
And you had you had a serious guy and you had a jokester, not a jokester, but an over the top guy.
Yeah. So this was the one neighbor. He loves to decorate for Christmas, loves organization, just
Very
very
traditional.
organized, very traditional.
He had his
Very,
ways.
yes. And then he got this quirky neighbor that moved in next door with a quirky wife, the blonde Chenoweth. And
Which anybody paired with Danny DeVito is
His-
a strange pair already.
right. And they look like a strange pair because she's tall, blonde, beautiful, and he's Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito, yeah.
So, and then their daughters were tall, blonde, and beautiful also. So it was very strange. Like he was the misfit.
Like the daughters and
match.
grown-ups.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Danny DeVito's family moves in and he's very competitive. So he decides he wants to start competing with the neighbors. And he actually ends up setting this goal of having the most Christmas lights possible so that he could be seen from space. I don't even remember in the story how that came about.
He was inspired.
He was inspired by the neighbor's house.
I think one of his daughters was showing the website of what you could see from space.
Yeah, so he decided to make that his goal. So he actually sold everything that he could possibly sell from their house because he didn't have a lot of money. He couldn't hold a job. He's just, kind of that. What do you call it?
He kept moving from job to job because he just couldn't commit. He was good at whatever he chose to do, but he could never commit.
He didn't like it. He didn't want to stay at any job. He would get bored with it almost instantly after getting the job. So anyways, didn't have a lot of money. He ended up pawning his wife's family heirloom vase. So that kind of got her a little bit upset and she threatened to kick him out. And she did actually kick him out for a night, or she left. She and the girls left and they stayed at a hotel. And so did the neighbor's family because he couldn't handle that the neighbor was building all of this. Oh, I need to get my battery. Building all of this and doing all of this. And he ended up starting to try to make mishaps happen at the neighbor's house. And so his wife got kind of angry, like, hey, why are you going against the neighbor? Why can't you just be in the spirit of Christmas and kind of help him out instead of, trying to work against him and not be. Yeah, she was mad for that. It was her family vase, an heirloom that was passed down from her grandparents and something special that should not have been sold for Christmas lights to be seen by space. It was, I see her point. I would be upset about it too. That would be kind of something. Oh, it's over here in my case on the table. Sorry. It's in there. So it was funny. I mean, but Matthew Broderick and Danny DeVito kind of in the front zipper part. Not that one. The other zipper part. The front.
Yeah, I see 2 zippers.
There's 3. Look, bring it here. My word. Right here. And so the 2 of them together, they really did make it funny. It was a good clean comedy, which I liked that. And being Danny DeVito, sometimes you never know what you're going to get as far as the language level goes. But I don't remember any words. Do you remember any?
No, that's one thing I really liked about this.
Yeah, I think it was pretty clean. It's rated PG, so I guess it kind of has to be clean. And it was good. It was cute. It was funny. Like I said, we recommended it to our family to watch it because it was just cute.
Yep, this is a straightforward comedy, and I think they chose their cast wisely. I like both of those characters.
Yeah.
I really only know Matthew Broderick from obviously Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and then another movie called Election, where he was in Reese Witherspoon, I think, was also in that. Was another silly movie.
The other zipper part?
Yeah, the laptop case.
Oh,
because I couldn't see that third zipper.
Anyway, so I would probably give this one an 8. I thought it was funny. It was cute. It was good. It was original.
I give 7.5.
Okay, so there you have it.
It was enjoyable.
We recommend Deck the Halls. So if you haven't checked that one out, it's a good, funny Christmas movie that's not cheesy. So he actually enjoyed watching it.
I would throw it in our traditional Christmas season movie.
I would put it up there with Christmas with the Cranks. It's a
Yes.
good one. It's a
Oh,
good
that
one.
one's way funnier.
That one is. I mean, that one's clearly our favorite. We've told you guys
Yeah.
that before. All right, the next one was also a comedy, Fred Claus. It has from 2007. It has Vince Vaughn, Paul Giamatti, and Elizabeth Banks as the main characters.
I didn't catch too much of this, but I like both of those actors. I'm not too familiar with the act with Elizabeth Banks.
So Fred Claus is basically about, so in the beginning of the movie, it shows Fred is the older brother to Nicholas, who becomes Saint Nicholas or Santa, right? So it kind of shows their German heritage of living out, in old German country. And Fred was first, he was older brother. Nicholas was born, he was a giant baby, just kind of ugly and kind of, and from birth, he kind of took the show or took the limelight all the time. His brother was always upstaged by him, and it kind of wore on him. And Fred ended up basically hating the family and leaving and going off. Well, of course, anybody who in the Catholic tradition, anybody who becomes a saint will live forever, or so they say that they will. So Santa lived hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. So did his brother Fred. And so it shows, and then it kind of skips forward to now, and Fred living in a normal, normal
life.
environment like us, normal life like us. And then his brother Nicholas in the North Pole with all of the elves and doing all of his Santa Christmassy stuff. And it kind of shows between them. Well, Santa ended up getting audited by somebody, I don't know. And so the brother needed money because he owed a lot of money. So anyway, the brothers ended up needing each other. So Nicholas asked Fred to come to the North Pole, and then you kind of have this interaction between the brothers at the North Pole. And Fred realizes that he doesn't hate Nicholas, he doesn't hate his brother, that they just, what's audited mean? So audited means that somebody was coming to check on his work and make sure he was getting his work done properly and in the right amount of time. If not, he was going to get fired. I don't know how they would fire him and elect a new Santa. I don't know. It didn't really explain all of that in the movie. So that would be one downfall to it. It didn't really explain what that guy was, what the repercussions would have been, because at the end they ended up saving the day, right? So Fred ended up helping Nicholas save the day, and he ended up getting to stay. Yeah, Santa's fired. They tried. But Fred ended up helping Nicholas, and so Nicholas realized, okay, well, he's not such a terrible big brother after all. He is willing to help when stuff hits the fan, and I needed the help.
I
So
think there was some appreciation there.
yeah, at the end they realized that they needed each other, and Fred actually moved to the North Pole to live in the North Pole with Nicholas, and he found a girl, of course, and marries the girl, and they all live happily ever after the North Pole. So there's that story in a nutshell. It was funny, it was cute. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a very entertaining movie. Did you catch any of that one?
I caught very little of it, but I saw that there was some resolution between the brothers. So that's always nice to see when you see some characters kind of come around.
Yeah. And I like Vince Vaughn. I like to watch Vince Vaughn. I
Yes,
think
Vince
he's
Vaughn is
funny.
hilarious.
He makes any movie he's in funny.
He's consistently the same kind of character, but
Yeah.
he consistently delivers.
Yeah. So I would give this one a 7. I thought it was good. I thought it was cute.
An A. Maybe I didn't see enough of it.
Okay.
Give it a fair
He's not going to rate it. So
An
it's a
A.
7. So it's a good one to watch. So if you want to check one out, Fred Claus would be a good one from 2007. All right. The next one was a cheesy romantic Christmas movie called Christmas Cupid from 2010. Did you watch any of this one with me?
Oh yeah, and
So it was kind of like a Scrooge style movie, but set with a female who is kind of over the top into herself. So
pretty much.
hey, thanks for
about
tuning
her.
in. So this one was a cheesy, over the top, just kind of different interpretation of the Scrooge story, but with a female executive.
With that Hallmark feel to it.
The Hallmark feel,
Very
yeah.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Um, It was cheesy. It was okay. Was it one of my favorites? No. Would I watch it again? Probably not. So, if you dare, check it out. If you like the Scrooge style story, Christmas Cupid is right along that Scrooge style story kind of thing. She realizes the error of her ways and decides to change everything and give her employees time off and yada, 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 the Scrooge story. So that's Christmas Cupid. I would probably give it a 5.
I'll give it a solid 3.
So it was not one of
Pretty
our
good
favorites.
for a Christmas movie.
So watch it at your own risk. Okay.
You need to stop throwing cheese in these Christmas movies.
It was kind of dumb. It was okay.
It doesn't have to be cheese.
The next one kind of followed suit. It was called A Christmas Crush. This one was extremely over the top, cheesy, bad acting.
It's a love triangle
Oh
story.
my word. It was from 2019. It was pretty terrible. It was, the acting alone was just awful, and
The writing was not great.
the writing was not great. It was about this woman who was kind of in love with her neighbor and wanted to do whatever. So she wished on a shooting star that her neighbor would fall in love with her. Well, she wasn't very specific, and it ended up being the other neighbor that fell in love with her.
That's like the bedazzled
So
wishes.
yeah, and he was over the top kind of, and it was an ex of hers, so it wasn't even anybody that she was remotely interested in, and he was just doing all of these things to show his affection and to buy her. She was getting gifts and everything everywhere, and that is, she was ended up.
I think the most annoying thing was that she couldn't decide. You just wanted her to pick one and move on.
Yeah, because she did end up starting to have feelings for him
Yeah.
again, but then she realized that it was just the wish, the curse or whatever of the wish that made him want her, that he really in real life did not want her. So she realized that's not what she would want, is somebody who really wanted somebody else. And what if the wish wears off or whatever, and then he's not in love with her? So it was really cheesy. It was really dumb. I would not recommend that one, and I would probably give it a 2.
Yes. Well, I just realized that the microphone's not plugged in. It's just the laptop microphone.
Well, so if you can't hear us, sorry
guys.
So anyway, we would give that one probably a 2 out of 10. Sounds absolutely terrible. Yeah, it wasn't great.
You can
Okay,
hear.
they could hear. Okay, good.
Okay.
All right. The next one is called Last Christmas, from 2019. I actually had this on the list to watch last year, and we never got around to watching this one and reviewing it. So I thought, why not? We're going to watch it this year. It was okay.
I'm trying to remember.
So it was about this girl who just had mishap after mishap. She works at a Christmas store, and she just had all of these terrible things happen to her. Well, she meets this guy, or so she thinks. She meets this guy and kind of falls for him.
This one actually had a story to it.
It had a good story, and it was a different twist, and it was an original, so it was good. So she ends up falling for this guy. He takes her to all of his favorite places. Well, the spin is, in the end, she finds out she had a heart transplant a year before. He was the ghost of the person whose heart she got. He had gotten in a bicycle accident and was brain dead. They harvested his heart, gave it to her. So she was having these visions of him, and he was taking her to all the favorite places because he wanted to teach her, hey, you need to take care of my heart, because she was doing some things that were not great for her health. She was not living the way she should. She was not eating healthy. She was not taking care of herself. So he saw things going in a bad way. So he wanted to kind of give her this vision, this view of,
like Edward did with Bella. He said, don't do this.
Well, it's not anything like Edward did with Bella. This was like a ghost type vision thing. Okay.
Yeah, Edward was a ghost.
No, he was not.
He appeared in her head.
Okay, so the vision thing, whatever. Okay. So anyway, um so it was cute. It was good. So then at the end, after she realizes, "Oh, he was the one who saved me. Like I got his heart. And so he's taking me to all these places that he loved so that I would love them too, and that would be this special thing that we shared together." So she had that realization. She thought, "Okay, well, I need to live better. I need to take care of myself. I need to see things for what they are, for the positive instead of the negative." So,
This kind of reminded me of a. I just had to look it up. It was a film with Christian Slater called Untamed Heart, 1993.
yes.
There was a role involved or a story involving a heart transplant.
Yeah. Yep. So this one was good. I would recommend this one. I would give it an 8.
I like the fact that there was an actual story. There's some substance here, and you actually care about the characters. So,
Yeah.
As much as I caught of it, when she told me what the twist was while I was washing dishes, I thought, "Oh, I'm impressed." So I'll give it a 7.
Yeah, it was good.
I would watch it again.
Yes, so we would recommend. Yeah.
Completely.
So we would recommend Last Christmas from 2019. Emma Thompson is the main character. And it's really good.
This is the one that was loaded with George Michael songs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like
every song was George Michael. Yeah.
All the ones from the CD I got from Columbia House.
Yeah. So that one was a good one. All right. The next one was Holiday in the Vineyards from 2023, and I'm sure you could guess the cheese factor in this.
Which one?
Holiday in the Vineyards.
Okay, I didn't catch this one.
So it was okay. It was kind of a story of this spoiled brat man whose family really owns this vineyard wine distribution company, but they ended up falling into where they were selling cheap crap the last several years. And so their products were really they tasted awful. Like the owners of the company didn't even want to drink their own wine. And so the mother sent the son to this other town, this other state, to kind of to kind of acquire a new vineyard that knew how to put out good flavored wine that they thought they could mass produce for cheap. So he ends up going, and you guessed it, he falls in love with the girl that's supposed to be selling the vineyard. But the vineyard was her husband's, and her husband had died years before and had left her his wine. And so she was also a real estate agent. So she was trying to sell it, but she did not want to sell it to the wine company. That was terrible because she didn't want their name dragged through the mud, and their product ended up being a terrible product. So she was doing all that she could to avoid selling to them. Well, so the son was supposed to be this mole that's in there and kind of sending
spy.
Yeah, kind of sending information back to his mother. Well, he ends up falling in love with the girl, so he stopped sending information back, but he had already sent the price of the vineyard for them to outbid. And so they ended up getting the winning bid. Then the son, of course, feels terrible because he loved the woman whose vineyard it was. And so he goes back and tells his mother he's opening up another branch of their company that's going to produce the wine the way it should be produced and to actually taste good and have a high value.
I do remember seeing a scene where, we still need to work on that. It was bad.
Yeah. So, typical cheesy, over the top Hallmark style movie. So if you like those movies, this is it. This is one for you. The acting was decent. I thought the acting was good. The storyline was fine. It kept my attention. It wasn't like it was bad acting and cheesy and all that stuff. It still kept my attention. I would give it a 6. I thought it was okay done. So check that one out if you like Hallmarky style movies. All right. And then the last one was recommended to us by actually 2 or 3 of our friends. The Muppet Christmas Carol. So I don't know. I love the Muppets.
I like the Muppets
always
too.
love the Muppets. They're the puppet style type deal, and they always are funny. They always have a cute story or a cute spin on a story. Who wouldn't love Kermit and Miss Piggy?
I hope they haven't ruined them. I don't know what they've done with the Muppets now, but
Yeah,
they
I
were
don't
great
know,
when
but
we
the
were
old
kids.
ones, this was from 1992, so it was the old, good, original Muppets.
The Muppets we knew.
Yeah, the well done Muppet story. So this was kind of a spin on. Stop it. He is not. He likes Miss Piggy. So this one has Michael Caine as Scrooge. So this is the typical Scrooge story, right? But it's done with the Muppets. So Kermit is what's his
Jiminy?
name?
Does he play Jiminy Cricket?
Not Jiminy. No, he plays
Marley?
Stop. You're not helping.
Those are all Christmas Carol movies.
No, looking for the name. The one that works for Scrooge.
Oh, Tiny Tim.
Tiny Tim. No, not Tiny. That's Tim? The son.
Oh,
the dad. Anyway, Kraken. Why can't I? And I can't see the name. Tiny Tim is Cratchit. Oh, Bob Cratchit.
Yeah, that's right.
So, okay. That's who Kermit is. So Kermit and Miss Piggy are the Cratchit couple, right? So then they have Tiny Tim, who's the crippled little frog boy, and then they have 2 mini pig girls. So, it's cute. It's the Scrooge story. So if you like the Scrooge story, this is a really good one to watch. And if you like the Muppets, definitely it's one to check out around Christmas time. It's really cutely done. And like I said, I love the Muppets.
And it's
all of them.
A young version of Alfred.
Yeah.
Portrayed by Michael Caine.
Michael Caine, yeah.
Plays Alfred in the Christian Bale Batmans.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Batman.
So it's good. I would give it a 7 overall for Scrooge stories. It's good.
I didn't see enough of it. I'll have to see it next year.
Okay. But it's good. So check it out. Muppet Christmas Carol. All right. So that is what we have for you guys this week. It was quite a few movies. We got another one that we're gonna feature for Tuesday.
Which film was that? I can't remember. I forgot already.
4 Christmases.
4 Christmases.
4 Christmases we're gonna do on Tuesday. So check that one out. That's another Vince Vaughn one.
Oh,
it's really funny.
If you like.
So we're not going to say anymore.
If you like,
you got to watch it on Tuesday. You got to check it out on Tuesday. We can't say
anymore.
No, we can't say anymore today. So
I was just gonna say
no, stop. So give us any suggestions if you watched any cute Christmas movies this week. Stop. Put it in the comments. Tell us what you watched this week and what you really enjoyed, and we will talk about it on Tuesday. I'm not going to let him say anything else. All right. So
it's funny.
Stop.
You said it's funny.
So bye.
No. Are we done?